When I think about, where we are today, you got to think about the past first. We farmed the land just outside of Jamestown. It was first cultivated in 1609. It's called Mainland Farms, and when the settlers left Jamestown Island, that's where some of them started farming. And when people say that farmers are not being good stewards of the environment, that is the second place we recorded 300 bushel dry land corn. I'm Dave Hula. I'm the third generation. So back when I was about 7 or 8, I remember riding on the fender of a tractor at a farm that we no longer farm, and my dad was planting corn. And I'm sitting there, and he's running the hydraulic levers. I'm watching the row markers. I'm watching the planter drop seed. At that moment in time, I realized I want to farm. I wanted to be a farmer just like my dad. So my late granddad was always raising Pioneer. My dad raised Pioneer, and then here we are, we're still producing Pioneer and having great success with it. But then also hearing how they're winning. So then it's like, all right, now this is a brand that we want to be part of. And I remember my granddad talked about when they first got 100 bushel corn yields, and then my dad getting into 200 bushels, and we broke into 300s. My granddad, he was still running the combine sometimes, and he'd get there and he's like, where in the world is this corn coming from? And then when we got into 400s, my granddad had since passed away, and I remember where we broke 400 the first time. I don't remember what the yield was, but my dad was excited. After the trucks came back and the supervisors came back, he's like, all right, how'd it do? And they're like 400 and something. He's like, really? And it was just, that excitement there. He's like, I remember we weren't hardly getting 200. And then, he saw the 500s. He didn't get a chance to see where we went past that. I was there when my dad passed away. So at that time, I got a chance to shake his hand and say thank you. I wouldn't be here without my dad. And now it's just one of my brothers and myself, and I got my son farming with me, so we are still an exciting family farm. Seeing my grandkids, who knows what they want to do, but my grandson loves riding equipment. My granddaughter, she's all about it. So, I like to think that they'd have some involvement. When you think about that century mark, that's 100 years of doing one thing. And when you think about Henry Wallace, did he ever think about having Pioneer seed being involved for 100 years? He probably did, but I don't know that I have that same vision. But when I think about what goes on with that, from the time he started corn to where it's a global brand, and then thinking about how many people Pioneer has touched, is huge. And, we've been part of it, but more importantly, I want to thank all those that helped do it, help us to have our success, giving us the genetics, giving us the technologies, and providing the information so that we could become not only better stewards, but we could become better farmers. My granddad was using Pioneer seed probably when he first started. You think about that merger there, we're not that far from being a century farm ourselves. Being part of Pioneer's 100th year anniversary, that's a century in which they've done something successfully. Seeing how they've evolved in my lifetime, it's just humbling to be a part of that. Thank you.